The autumn wind is a pirate, blustering in from sea. With a rollicking song he sweeps along, swaggering boisterously. His face is weather-beaten. He wears a hooded sash, with a silver hat about his head, and a bristling black mustache. He growls as he storms the country, a villain big and bold. And the trees all shake and quiver and quake as he robs them of their gold. The autumn wind is a raider, pillaging just for fun. He'll knock you round and upside down and laugh when he's conquered and won.
Raider Nation, we got our guy. Star defensive tackle Christian Wilkins has agreed to terms with the team. It's a massive contract, 4 years, 110 million, 84 of which is guaranteed, and huge signing for this regime. These type of players, generational type talents like Christian Wilkins, are rare. They don't hit free agency that often. And he was a #1 player available on, everyone's big board, free agency big board, and we were able to get him, and that's so huge. There's a lot of teams interested. The Texans were interested. The Browns were interested. The Vikings were interested. So that he had a big, robust market, is what, people on the Twitter people were saying. And we were able to get him. We came out of nowhere and, from the shadows and acquired this guy. And if you haven't watched Christian Wilkins play, this is my scouting report on him. I think he's Max Crosby, but as a defensive tackle. He's a 3-down player. He does not come off the field. So he's an extremely high motor. And another thing, he's extremely versatile on that D-line. He can do everything he's asked to do. He can take on those double teams, eat up the middle. He's an amazing run stuffer, so he does all that. But he also is an elite pass rusher. On 3rd down, he doesn't come off the field. And, he has all the moves in his arsenal. He's not just a bull rush guy. He can shed blocks. He can spin move, swim move, whatever you want to do, he can do it. So he's Max Crosby, but as a defensive tackle, and he's going to be playing alongside Max. And, we're going to have, I think, the #1 D-line in the NFL with this addition. So huge move by the Raiders. And also, I think this has Telesco and AP written all over it. And the reasons why is right when Telesco, signed on as GM, we made a video and said he likes to build through the trenches. And that's something that I like about Telesco because, building through the trenches helps you win games. On 3rd and 4, when you need a bull rush up the middle, you got to have dogs on that side of the ball and, up the middle. Middle of your D line, they have the fastest route to the quarterback. And so, it's easier to chip guys like Crosby or Kuntz on the edge. It's doable. So you can take those guys out of the game, but it's hard to scheme up against interior guys. Like, we saw in the Super Bowl, Chris Jones, what he did to Brock Purdy. And I think this guy can have a similar effect. So it's hard to scheme up against guys like this. And I think it's an amazing signing by Telesco. I like his, you can see his rationale in bringing in a guy like this. And AP on his side, Hondo Carpenter mentioned that he's not going to bring just anyone into his locker room. He's very particular. He guards his locker room like a mother hen is the way Hondo described it. And, you can see that with this signing because, this guy, Christian Wilkins, is about the highest character guy you can sign. He was the leader of that Clemson team coming out of college, and he's been a leader on that Dolphins D-line. And it's pretty shocking that they didn't bring him back. They just don't have a lot of cap space. I think that's the only reason why. So he's the ultimate high character guy, and he's going to bring an amazing presence into the locker room too. Just another leader. I think he's going to be a team captain. So it's hard to see this guy fail. And, I also another reason is when you sign guys on the D-line, they're not as dependent on the scheme because, they're just rushing the quarterback and they're stopping the run. It's less scheme related rather than, let's say, a linebacker or a corner. And that's where signing a guy like this in free agency, investing that 84 million guaranteed, I'm more comfortable with it because it's a less likelihood for this guy to fail in that he's not relying on the scheme. He's not reliant on, external factors. It's just him rushing the quarterback. And that's where, I think this guy is going to be a star for us. I don't see a path in which this guy is not successful. I think he's got all the tools, he's got all the intangibles that you want in a player. And, we predicted this as well. We made a video about 2 days ago and, we predicted this. We said he was going to get around 24 million. So it was a little north of that. It's 27 a year. But nonetheless, we wanted him. I think everyone in Raider Nation wanted this guy. And, hats off to this regime for making it happen. We got the number one player in free agency. Huge, huge news. And, it's a big, big piece, of our defense. We've been looking for a guy like this for years and years, a star defensive tackle. We've mentioned it. We've had these stopgap players, Bilal Nichols, Adam Butler. Those guys are serviceable, but they're not stars. They're not dogs like this guy is. And Christian Wilkins alongside Max and Kuntz, this is going to be an elite defensive line. And we're taking steps to, become that Super Bowl defense. We made a step last year and we're going to make another step next year. So huge, huge move. Patrick Graham's going to have a field day with this guy. Played under Patrick Graham as well. So another connection there I just thought of too. Huge, huge move. I'm pretty shocked because we weren't mentioned as one of his suitors either. There was a few tweets put out, I think Diana Rossini and a few of those insiders. We weren't mentioned on any of them. And I was kind of worried that are we not going to get this guy, even though everyone wanted him. But we worked in the shadows, we worked in silence and made it happen. And huge blockbuster move and amazing. Raider Nation, you guys should be stoked. I heard a lot of people saying that this is a lot of money, a big investment in the guy, but I think it's worth it. These guys are so rare to hit free agency. You always get like 1 to 2 of these guys per year. And for us to get him was absolutely huge. Another thing I wanted to say is this probably means we're not going to get any other defensive tackles in free agency. I saw a few people commenting on Twitter saying, oh, yeah, let's get Leonard Williams and Eric Armstead next. I think we got to pump the brakes a little bit on that. You don't want to overinvest on any one position and over leverage yourself. So I think this is going to be it for the defensive tackle, at least in terms of star power in free agency. But that's totally okay. So Christian Wilkins, huge, huge signing. Raider Nation, you guys should be stoked. Amazing. But anyway, we're gonna have a bunch of new moves coming in the coming hours and coming days. So we're gonna have you guys covered. And yeah, thanks, Raider Nation. Please hit that like, subscribe button. Let us know your thoughts, comments down below, and appreciate you guys.